KK says baby steps. Even if he's talking about marriage too fast, should I see what happens? We both need to work on ourselves. Well, it depends on what he's saying about marriage. If he's like, if he's asking you if you want marriage, that's not a big deal, right? It's a normal conversation. It's like he's trying to figure out where you are, because he's, it's funny. I did a survey in our community the other day. It was a couple of weeks ago, where I was like, hey, how many of you are either in or open to a casual friend with benefits, just hookup type of a situation with a man? And we had something around like 24%. 24% of the women in my community is literally all about getting into committed relationships. My website's called Commitment Connection, right? It's all about commitment. And 24% of the women in my community are open to or in a casual friend with benefits, just hookup kind of a situation right now, right? So what does that look like in the rest of like the dating world? There's probably a lot of women out there that are just looking for, totally open to, interested in, or already in some kind of hookup, casual friend with benefits type of a situation. And so when guys are out there and they're dating women, because it happens to a lot of guys, it's happened to me before, where you go and you start dating a girl, and then you find out. I dated this girl one time when I was in college. And I started dating her, and we were like having a fun time, and she like sprung it on me. She's like, hey, I'm into open relationships. Right. And you're like, and I was just like, oh, like, okay. Cause I'd never done the open relationship thing before at the time. And so I was like, okay, whatever, and so we spent more time together, and we like went to this party. And this dude shows up there, right? And she's like kissing all over me, and like licking my face or whatever. She wasn't actually doing that, but she was like kissing all over me and like leaning into me and stuff. And this dude comes in, and he was like, whoa, and you could tell there was something weird going on there, right? And I'm the kind of guy, I love conflict, right? I love figuring out what's going on. And, so I saw that, and I was like, well, that was weird. And so like later I went over and talked to him, and I was like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, yeah, and I was like, I was like, hey, you give a weird look over at, me and, I won't mention her name, but the girl that I was dating at the time. And he was like, yeah, I'm dating her too, and I was just like, and he's like, yeah, and she invited me here. And I was just like, man, that's so weird. It's just so weird. Like after that, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is too weird for me. It's just too much. It's too weird for me. You like doing this open thing. I'm just not interested in that. Not interested in being that dude, right? The dude that shows up to a party, and the girl that you've been seeing is like slobbering all over some guy in the bath or in the kitchen. Right. I don't want to do that. I don't want to show up and be that guy, And so I was like, we're not dating anymore. And I ran into her like a year later or something. And she was like, we were at this restaurant, and she was like, yeah, I realized that what I was doing was like pushing all the men away from me, and ended up just keeping me completely single or whatever, And so anyway, the point is that a lot of guys will look at it and be like, is this something that you're interested in? Are you interested in marriage? Because a lot of women aren't interested in marriage. He might ask you, are you interested in something real? Because a lot of women aren't interested in something real. A lot of women just want to hook up and hang out and have fun and not be in a real relationship. Lots and lots, millions, probably tens or hundreds of millions of women in America alone are looking for that. And so you got to realize that if a guy's looking for something serious, which lots of guys are, they are running into these women all over the place. And they're going, I've run into guys where they're like, are there even women that want relationships anymore? And I'm like, yeah, they're all over. But you have to weed out the ones that you don't want, right? In order to get to the ones that you do want. And so I mean, if he's talking about marriage quickly, that doesn't necessarily mean anything unless he's talking about the two of you being married very quickly. And then it might be, I mean, it might be like, you know, you might want to slow him down, just be like, chill out a little bit, you know, like, we'll get there one day, you know, Speedy Gonzalez, we'll get there one day.